has held home court after the semi-finals. Everyone just rolled through, just proven. It just gets a little bit heated. It gets a little bit different when you get to the championship series.
Oh, I can't wait for this. Forget everything else. Now we've got a 3-game series. One of these teams is 2 wins away from being a champion. Are we any closer to figuring out who that is? You can make a case for yes and no, but I'm excited for this one. I feel like Copes, we're going to get some hostility in the crowd tonight.
Absolutely, absolutely. This game is all about the coaches and the coaches' decisions. Does Dean Bickerman stay defensive and go with Cameron in the starting spot, or does he bring Ian Clark in the starting spot and go offensive? And does Tatum have the nerve to test my man at the free throw line? That's what
we've been asking for it all series, and if there's ever a time, it's now. But hey, as these games go on, the mind games between coaches, you don't really see it. Game 1's are usually a feel out. Game 2's a little bit more reactive. Game 3 is where you really start to see where the good coaches show themselves.
Yeah, I think Dean Bickerman outcoached Justin Tatum in the second half of Game 1, but then Justin Tatum returned the favour after quarter time in Game 2. So I think the coaches are 1-1 as well, but the aces up the sleeve have all been used. Now it's just who's going to execute better on the day, and I can't wait to find out who that is.
The final 2 minutes of Game 2 was one for the ages. Let's roll through this. There was big shots, iced free throws, and of course, the Tyler Harvey bucket at the end. Pete, walk us through the final 2 minutes.
Well, there was so much more before the Tyler Harvey heroics. I mean, we look at this and it looked like Melbourne United had a bit of a buffer there, but then the Hawks came back. Ian Clark was phenomenal throughout the whole game, but pretty much put the team on his back in the fourth quarter. Davo Hickey made some big plays. We know the lineup you see there from Justin Tatum. But Coach, this is what you expect from the 2 best teams in the comp.
Absolutely. Look, this game was so good. Us 3 were standing in the back like little girls. We couldn't wait to see what
yourself.
Right. But look, the one thing I loved about this was Harvey made the mistake. He went to his coach and said, "Coach, give me the ball." Like Jack Heffernan said, I'm a big shot taker and a big shot maker.
Hey, Jim Hayford used to say at Eastern Washington when he coached Tyler Harvey, balls to take it, balls to make it.
That's right.
And you got a guy like CJ43 on one end who this shot pulls. Give us the percentages of how far that ball was in the rim.
Every freeze frame I've seen of that shot, it was probably 68.75% down and somehow came out. And they've been on the wrong end of some big shots as well, Melbourne United, John Cain Arena.
Well, a lot of people said Melbourne United got away with an Ian Clark travel in the semi-final series. Tyler Harvey, that final shot, a lot of people online are saying, hey, he shuffled the feet. The flippers were moving a little bit more than they're allowed to move.
I mean, you have a look here. Multiple things can be right. Was it a travel? Absolutely. Are you probably going to be calling that in the game? No, in the heat of the moment. And I don't think it matters, because if we're going to actually go back and take all the calls or no calls, missed calls, we could be going for days. I don't like us focusing so much on that because of how many other big calls have been missed rather than the heroics of the man himself.
Real basketball fans know it might have been a travel. They don't care. It was more about that shot in his space and to tie the game and to get the game going, and that's what happened.
Unbelievable effort. One of the biggest stories coming out of the game, and it's going to have a massive impact on the series going forward. No Shea Illy tonight. We all know he's had a long history with concussions, and Melbourne United taking the safest possible approach. Is there a world that he could play tonight? Probably. But Pete, you know him well. You know all about the situation. You don't take any risks when it comes to the head now.
No, you don't. Again, the last time he got hit was in Adelaide a couple of years ago, and to be experiencing symptoms a couple of days after, I mean, you have a look at it here. Yes, we see the slow-mo, but it is so innocuous. Look, it's a little stray elbow from Davo Hickey, and for him to be feeling that kind of symptoms after, forget the basketball, forget the series when it comes to, this is a father of 3. This is someone who has a whole life ahead of him for him and his family. It's good to hear that he's doing a whole lot better. For him missing a potential Game 3, even if that's Game 4, is minuscule in the grand scheme of life.
Absolutely. Look, and these guys are 7-12 over the last 3 years without Shea Illy. Shea Illy is not only just the guy who runs the show. He gets goaling the ball in the right place. He plays great defense. He's their leader.
That's the thing for me. We always talk about Shea being the defensive player of the year. You're coming up against the best backcourt. It's a huge loss. But the way he keeps this offense moving, he's a plus-minus superstar when it comes to the box score.
He is, and he's just the guy who's going to do everything it takes to win. Defensively, offensively, he's been really aggressive in these first 2 games. But without him, someone's going to have to step up. And probably not just one player. Multiple guys are going to have to step up for Melbourne United.
You lead me right into a segue, Peter Hooley. That's why we love you. Ian Clark is the man that Melbourne have chosen to step up in his absence. Now, there was a lot of people saying, do you leave Clark on the bench? Do you take him out of his rhythm by putting him in the starting lineup? But Leonard, we were speaking earlier, you like the move.
I'm happy that they're putting him in the starting lineup. Yes, he plays well off the bench, but this gives them a 2-gun shot, a 2-angle shotgun now. They got to guard Golding and Ian Clark now. Who's going to stop both of them. I don't think anyone can. So it's great to see the way he's playing. 38 points against Perth, 31 points against these guys last week. Get him the ball early and then get Golding the ball and see if they can get going.
I could have made a case for starting potentially Ian Clark, potentially Flynn Cameron, Tanner Krebs. You can make a case why all three of them shouldn't start as well. You talk about continuity, and he comes in against the bench guys, but now we'll see what he can do. He has been en fuego this entire postseason. That man, he's done it at the highest level. I'm looking forward to seeing how he starts this one.
And especially, you've been calling it since for the majority of the season to have Ian Clark and CG43 on the court at the same time, which we don't see that often.
Every superstar needs a wingman. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen.
Andrew Gaze.
I wasn't going to say that. I wanted you guys to say
all right.
Anyway, when you stop one guy, you can't stop them both. And I think these guys are the best two shooters in the league.
The curious case of what on earth is going on with Jack White at the moment. 0 field goal attempts in game 2. We saw his struggles from the free throw line. Now it has moved from the free throw line to the general court.
Have a look at his game 2 stats. I mean, he picked some big rebounds late. We know he's athletic, one of the best rebounders in the league, but just having a look at some of, it's hard to call them highlights, really, some of what he produced in game 2. This is so unlike him. To not attempt a field goal is one thing, but have a look at just how passive he was on the offensive end. He was just a passenger, not trying to be aggressive whatsoever, and we know he's had his struggles at the line, but turning his back to the ball at the wrong time, he can be a mismatch nightmare with his head in the right space.
And the reason he needs to be aggressive is this. Even if he misses free throws, so what? You're getting the other team in foul trouble. You need to attack the basket. You need to go to the offensive glass. You're too good not to take a shot. In fact, if I'm Dane Vickerman, I'm getting the ball early just to get him going.
He's been through something similar his 3rd year at Duke in college, where it was a little bit mental when he had to kind of grind out of it. So he knows how to get out of that. What better way to do it in a hostile environment where if he can get going, he's their X factor. If he gets going, Melbourne United are going to win this game.
It's got to be hostile. You believe that?
Hey, game 1 here, I don't think it was as hostile as we've seen from this crowd before. That game against Southeast Melbourne in the semi-finals, this crowd was rabid. Yeah. We felt unsafe sitting there in the corner.
I had to wear a raincoat. There was some second-hand spit over the side. I'm expecting that tonight.
But you'd expect that as this series goes on. But on the case of Jack White, we've spoken about it plenty of times. If you're Justin Tatum and you know that this guy's potentially in his own head, we don't know what's going on, you foul him early and you send him to the line. Just like Dean Vickerman's got to get a play for him, Tatum's going to make a chess move of his own.
Absolutely, and if he makes his free throws, so be it. But you send him to the line just to see where his nerves and his head is. And if he misses, you know you got something to play with.
Yeah, I mean, we just talked about, I'm looking forward to seeing what he comes out. We know what he's capable of, and again, I do think a lot of Melbourne United's hopes tonight rest on not just his numbers, but how aggressive he is.
Trey Kell, throughout this series and throughout the semi-finals as well, has been a yo-yo. Great game, poor game. Great game, poor game. Where do the stats say we're lying tonight with him?
Well, the stats would say that he's in for a poor one, but I think that he's found something that's going to have success in this lineup, and especially without Shea Ili, it's going to be interesting to see how they kind of switch up defensively. But in the game 2, this is what he did in game 3 against the Phoenix, was the poise. Even those little cuts there, he picked his moments and he played under control. Even those ones right there where Flynn Cameron is a big body. He started posting up more coats, which I know that you love, and this is where he can have success. That poise is the difference between Trey Kell being a potential championship series MVP or hurting his team on the offensive end.
And you spoke about it last game. When he takes his time and he plays his style of game, he's a much better player. He's big, like you said. He has the body. He can bang, but he can get to that middle and drop that shot off. He's very good.
Shea Ili being out of this lineup, how much are these guys licking their lips, both Trey Kell and Tyler Harvey?
I'm licking my lips. Look, I'm licking my lips.
Be careful, though. Flynn Cameron has been someone who has been desperate for an extended opportunity. Had his 2 best games. One of them was against the Hawks with Shea and Delly out earlier in the season. You expect him to rise to the moment. Damn, Marcus!
Oh, man!
There's no grass here, Marcus!
I lost your earring out here. Marcus Lee just jumps in out. Now Joe Healy caught up with Trey Kell a little bit earlier.
Trey, I've got to start with your boy Tyler Bean. What is it like being his teammate when he has the ball in the clutch like he did in game 2?
Yeah, obviously he's proven he's capable of making those shots, and you know, it definitely helps having another guy that is you know, a huge threat in that moment. And knowing Tyler like I did, I'd seen the moves he was making, and I could tell he was about to shoot the ball. So and as you could tell when it went in, I was the first guy over there to give him a chest bump. So obviously a huge shot for him and a huge shot for us as well.
You had a great game yourself as well, especially that first half of the offensive end, but also defensively, 4 steals, plenty of pressure on the ball. How are you feeling about this matchup? Do you think that something's clicked since game 1?
Yeah, we just made a few adjustments from game 1 to game 2. And especially, like you said, first half, I shot the ball pretty well. Second half, I was terrible from the field. So I just wanted to affect the game in other ways. And that was defensively and getting rebounds and getting people involved. So, yeah, just trying to put my mind on that.
No Shea Lee for them tonight. What are you expecting from them from a defensive point of view?
I mean, a lot of the same. I mean, United is going to play, tough, physical defense regardless of who's playing. They do a good job of, making sure everyone's on the same page. And we're preparing the game not any different as if, he was out there.
JT talked about the fact that the 1%ers in game 2 were the difference, the rebounding, the effort on the loose balls. How do you make sure that you bring that into tonight and maintain that pressure?
Just know what it got us in game 1. We didn't get any of those in game 1. They were able to, get one on our home court. And obviously we did our job game 2 and got home court advantage back, but it could be easily taken away again if we don't do those 1%ers like you mentioned. So, yeah, those are a big part of the game, and I'm sure both teams are harping on that aspect.
Hopefully a good one for you tonight. Good luck.
Appreciate it.
I'm sure a couple of sleepless nights for Dean Vickerman getting ready to go in this game without the Defensive Player of the Year against the best backcourt in the league. Tyler Harvey, we got lost in his final shot there and the heroics of that. But when he's on, he's just as good of a bad shot maker as CJ43, in my opinion.
Yeah, he really is, and we know that his floater's money too. Wherever it is, if it's 1 foot inside the three-point line, it doesn't matter, but he's just super crafty, gets to his spots when he wants, and he's one of those guys who can put up points in a quick spurt of 2-3 minutes. He can have double-figure points. Tyler Harvey is a prolific scorer at every single level, and that's what makes him so hard to guard. What's going to help Tyler Harvey and Trey Kell is if they feed the big fellas early, because then you have to take a little bit of focus off them, and he doesn't need any space. Ian Clark is in his lap on that.
Let me tell you something. After you make a big shot like that, your confidence is sky high. He's already a confident player. When these guys are scoring these amount of points, they're usually winning. 24 and 18 is very good.
And I know what you're most happy about with this is they're getting up field goal attempts. So that's what they didn't have in game 1. They didn't have that in game 1. They did in game 2, and it helped them, and obviously that's the key for them.
When you look at those numbers there, relatively good percentage. Even with Shea Lee in this lineup, they still went out and put big numbers up. So is it as much of an impact on the defensive end as we're playing into?
I think so. I'm very intrigued to see what Dean Vickerman rolls out in this game. Does he just try and get a little bit of a zone in there? Does he really try and mix it up? Does he put in there trapping on defense? Is Flynn Cameron, who, when Delly and Shea were out last time, he kind of played like Shea did on Trey Kell, used his body. He's got more size than Shea Lee. So I'm fascinated to see. I think we're going to see 20+ of Flynn Cameron, and he's not someone who's afraid of a challenge.
The one thing about Dean Vickerman is he gets the best out of his players. If Flynn Cameron is in that spot and he's starting or he's playing major minutes, you better believe he's going to be playing just as hard as Shea Lee. Maybe not as much experience, but he'll play just as hard.
There'll be a lot of teams watching this series as well, knowing that Flynn Cameron's going to get some minutes because, hey, this is a guard-heavy lineup, and this is a very, very good player that's been trapped behind on the bench a lot of other good players. So there will be teams watching him very, very closely.
Absolutely. I mean, don't get me wrong, on any other team, this is a 25-minute-a-night player. He's been in the league a couple years now. He understands what it takes. He's got that size. He's got the strength of his old man.
Pedigree.
He's got that pedigree, but he's got that competitiveness that his old man had as well. So he's going to have a massive career. You can't say he's been held back. I know there's been other guards in front of him, but he's continued to develop, and he will blossom in the NBL.
Before we get into Sam Froling for the Illawarra Hawks, it's been a big couple of days for the Frolings because his brother Harry finally got his first game under the belt in the NZNBL.
Oh, how good was that? That was literally a couple of hours ago, finishing up 32-12, I think, Harry Froling,
wow,
who's had to come back from an absolutely horrific incident, obviously, with his brain, to get back on the court, the nerves that would have been there. And don't get me wrong, this is what we've seen from Harry Froling when he's healthy, and he just putting up some absurd numbers. I'm sure it's emotional for the whole family, and I guarantee you that Sam's going to have a bit of an edge to play with tonight because of that.
If you're talking about Sam Froling, though, he's got the edge on these guys. He's done well. I love his footwork, the way he plays and goes hard and gets to the basket and makes those hard shots. He puts that pressure on him. You get low in the foul trouble, you get Lee in the foul trouble, and it's pretty much over, fellas, because he's that good around the basket.
And I don't think you have to try and be cute if you're Justin Tatum and mess with things. They had success in game 2 because they went inside. They had Jack White, Rob Lowe, and Marcus Lee all in some significant foul trouble in the first half. Yes, obviously Melbourne's going to make some changes, but still test that out. And if you get deep into their rotation, you might even see some other guy, Tanner Krebs, who's been enormous, but has to play undersized against the Froling, against an old brick, and you might have the advantage. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You have the ace up your sleeve, but I'm going straight back to the well.
The best thing that's happened to Sam Froling during this is Jack White not attempting a field goal, because the only person that can get him into proper foul trouble is an aggressive Jack White going downhill right at him. Well, we're going to cut to a break here. Plenty coming up. Tip-off, not far away.
Tyler's been awesome. He's having arguably his best year.
Tyler's professionalism is one reason why I enjoy coaching professionals now. The way he comes to work every day, the way he prepares, and then how much of a team player he is.
Man, Tyler might be like epitome of what an import should be, and I don't mean that as a slight to any other import. He comes in every day, does what he needs to do, works hard, gets his shots up.
Even his growth, I mean, I've loved playing with him over our 5 seasons together. For a guy like that, a little older in the back end of his career, just shows the hard worker he is and the kind of guy he is. He's been unbelievable for us.
Jack Heverin put it best when he said, big shot taker, big shot maker, from his days as the NCAA's leading scorer for Eastern Washington to his time in the NBL. Big shot after big shot. And he's done plenty of that for the Illawarra Hawks, none more so than his own Jack McVeigh-esque buzzer beater in Game 2. Tyler Harvey having a special season, all NBL first team, but a lot of it means little if you don't cap it off with a championship, which I'm sure they'll be fighting for and gunning for in this Game 3 tonight. But Peter, Leonard, it's time to bring in Joe Healy, all thanks to basketball.com.au with all the news. Now, Shea Healy, he's the big story in this one, Joe.
Yeah, thanks, Felix. Obviously a big blow, the fact that Shea Healy is out for Melbourne United. I've spoken to the club. I'm told he is tracking well. He's undergoing daily assessment at the moment, which he needs to continue to pass in order to make himself available for Game 4. Delhi told me before the game that they know they can't find a like-for-like replacement for Healy, so then it is the next man up mentality. They do see him, though, as still being an incredibly valuable piece on the bench tonight. He might see something that the coaches miss, and obviously, just given his experience, he's still a key piece for them tonight, guys.
As well that he's here. I think it's great that he made the flight, that he's around, the morale booster that he would be, and I do love that they're being extra cautious. We spoke about it just before. There's so much more to life than basketball. He's a father of 3. He's got a very new young one as well. He's got so much life ahead of him, so just take it easy. If he doesn't play the rest of the series, it would suck because you want both teams at their very best competing, but it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of life.
Well, it's certainly, as you say, it's a great sign that he's here, because when you do have a concussion, you can't get around loud noise. And this is one of the loudest venues, along with Tasmania, in the league. So the fact that he's in the building tonight probably leads me to say that Game 4 is certainly a possibility for him. But Joe, also the NBL NBA is making its next advancement with a game coming out here.
Yeah, recapping the big news this week, the NBL partnering with the NBA for 2 preseason games in October. This is going to be absolutely huge. It is fantastic for the NBL, for our players here in Australia. And we're told that the big guns will be in town. They don't want to be a team that loses to an NBL side. So it's going to be fantastic. I cannot wait for that. As we said, Melbourne United and South East Melbourne getting the opportunity to take on the Pels.
This is huge. Larry's been working on this for 15 to 20 years. Finally got it done. And the best thing about it is, it's in Melbourne, baby. We're hanging in Melbourne, baby. That's right. Hey, the rest of you guys, forget about it. We got it, baby.
I heard they were bringing it to Wollongong. You ready for another hour-and-a-half drive, my man? Jammed in the back of that car. Joe, as well, Andrew Bogut, always a bit of a controversial figure. He's been named the assistant coach of a team he owns in the Sydney Kings.
Yeah, huge news for the Perth Wildcats. Christian Doolittle signing a new 3-year extension. It's fantastic for them to have the stability. He was a key piece in getting them to the Final Four this season, averaging 16, 8 and 4, working so well with that man, Bryce Cotton. So fantastic for the Wildcats, but still the big question for them is, will they be able to keep Bryce Cotton as his partner in crime? Let's hope so, guys.
It's very interesting to think, and again, I know you don't want to harp on it too much, but the potential of Bryce Cotton not coming back, they're in a great spot by locking in Christian Doolittle for 3 years. Just imagine if they get Doolittle locked in, if they bring back Dylan Windler. Now, if for some reason Bryce Cotton doesn't come back, imagine the amount of salary cap and money you free up to go and get an absolute dynamic. You're not going to replace Bryce Cotton, but then also get some marquee locals as well, and all of a sudden it's not going to feel as bad as the 5-time MVP's not there.
Certainly not. Now, Joe, I might have jumped the gun on you there a little bit, but Andrew Bogut as well, now the assistant coach of the Sydney Kings.
Yeah, really excited for this signing for the Sydney Kings, guys. I spoke to them this week. I'm told that Bogut is moving his entire family down to Sydney. He is committing to this. We know that he wanted to get into coaching at some point in the future. It's come sooner than what a lot of people have expected, but guys, he brings so much pedigree to the Sydney Kings. #1 draft pick, 2015 NBA champion, so we are very lucky to have him in Sydney.
Certainly is, and I'll tell you what, there's been a lot of talk with the coaching and what happened with Sydney. They were a little bit disappointed with that one, but still a good move to have a guy of his caliber out there.
Absolutely, he knows what he's doing. He's the smartest mind in basketball. I can't wait to see him rebound for the other players.
Fantastic, we are not far from tip-off. The stands are starting to fill out. It's heating up in here, tip-off not far away.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.
I enjoy those moments. I think that's where my mind is the quietest.
It's going to be Tyler Harvey.
He's done it before.
From the logo. Tyler Harvey's done it.
I think in those moments you don't have time really to think. You're just going off reaction. It's a time where the preparation, everything sort of just plays out.
And guess who? Big moment. Tyler Harvey once more stands up for the Hawks.
I mean, I trust myself to make the right play in those moments, and like I told you, sometimes it's gonna work out, sometimes it's not. I really don't think too much about the moment. I'm just so locked into, all right, we gotta get a good look at this possession, let's see what we can do, and you just go from there.
He pulls the trigger! Big shot taker! Big shot maker! What a play by Tyler Harvey! The longer these series go on, the longer the coaches have to make more and more chess moves to just create an advantage throughout this. And having a guy like Tyler Harvey on your team certainly gives Tatum a bit of an advantage there. We mentioned before, we give so much credit to Chris Goulding for being a bad shot maker, and you've got to give that credit there to Tyler Harvey as well. Simply unbelievable at times.
He's the most clutch player in the league. I mean, you have a look at his highlight tape. That one in New Zealand still, pulling up from just inside half court. But you know who else is clutch? Jack Heverin. Every time he calls one of those big moments, absolutely nails it. Some people are just built for it.
He certainly has. He's nailed it all through the semis as well. Leonard Copeland, you're going to take Justin Tatum's whiteboard for us.
If I'm Tatum, you know what I'm doing? I got to test Jack White early. I got to see if he wants to shoot the ball, if he wants to get involved. I'm going to send him to the free throw line, see if he can make free throws. Because if he can't, I got something to work with. Secondly, you got to run Chris Goulding and Ian Clark off the three-point line. They shot way too many threes in game 2. There's no way you can let these guys find their eye, knock down some of these threes, because if they do, they're in the game. And thirdly, you got to use your bench. Blanchfield needs to be big. Days needs to be big. Hickey needs to be big. These guys need to come in, help the starting five, and get themselves going.
Yeah, they're all good points. I mean, their bench scoring's been the big one. They've had so many different contributors and they change throughout the whole point. For me, for Dean Vickerman on his whiteboard, I'm going to start with one that I said when they came back from Perth after giving that win away and they ended up losing, and that is a blank slate. Forget everything else. You've got a 3-game series here against the top team in the competition. Forget Chris's shot, forget Tyler's shot, forget all of that. It is a complete blank slate. You're going in here as fresh as possible mentally. Be at the level defensively. Dean Vickerman keeps talking about that. If the bigs, if Rob Lowe, Marcus Lee, Jack White aren't at the level, Tyler Harvey and Trey Kell are going to have a field day and be aggressive offensively. That goes not just to Jack White, but to everyone who gets an extended opportunity. Tanner Krebs probably deserves more love in this pregame for how well he's played. He'll be ready for some big moments. Flynn Cameron, be aggressive. Oh, you can feel the excitement already building.
It's starting to build. It is starting to build in here. One of these teams is going to leave with an advantage. No Shea Illy, the defensive player of the year for Melbourne, said it, coming up against the best backcourt in the league. Does that change your opinion of this series going forward in this game itself?
I said I guaranteed it was going to go to 5. I think Shea Illy's a massive out. I think the Hawks will get this one done.
It all depends on Jack White. If Jack White's aggressive, I think Melbourne have a chance. If not, the Hawks win it.
Well, the Illawarra Hawks, the benchmark all year long. Can that man right there, Jack White, 0 field goals in game 2. He needs to get himself going if Melbourne are going to leave here with an advantage, or will Illawarra hold home court? Tip-off up next. Goulding watches Swakala Bullock fly by. What a start to game 2 at John Cain Arena. This is Championship Series basketball you're witnessing right now. He's so good. It's just starting to get a little messy for the Hawks. This is a high-energy outfit on the floor for Illawarra right now. Krebs assesses the situation. A step-back 3. He got it! Tanner Krebs taking game 2 apart. Early timeout, Illawarra.
You just keep in there knocking him in, Tanner. We got 0 team fouls. Knock his goddamn block off.
What a momentum shift we've seen. And if Tyler Harvey gets going, then they are going to have some real headaches. Illawarra are taking Melbourne apart. Tyler Harvey from Swan Street. 10,000 in the house. They need to lift their team. Here comes the run from Melbourne. The Hawks' advantage has evaporated before their very eyes. Krebs for Delavanova. Got it! The game hangs
in the balance. Marcus Lee gets it back. Ian Clark is fouled. Oh my. All eyes are on Illawarra now. 10.4 seconds left. Shooters all over the floor. Inbound to Harvey. 7 seconds left. He pulls the trigger. Big shot taker. Big shot maker. Tyler Harvey enormous. Illawarra answer the call, and now it's Melbourne's turn. Delavanova down to 4. Time expiring. Golding for the win from deep. It was in, and then it was out. Illawarra win game 2 in the most dramatic fashion. And we're only 2 games into the championship series. Melbourne won, Illawarra won, and it's the Hawks back on their home court today to try and take the series advantage. On screen right now, 2 of the best in the competition in clutch moments. Tyler Harvey was the man in game 2, and Chris Goulding is capable of grabbing the game by the horns at any single stage. Great to have your company at the Win Entertainment Centre. Game 3 of the NBL25 Championship Series between the Hawks and Melbourne United. I'm Jack Hebron, Derek Rucker and Brad Rosen alongside me. If we've learnt one thing in this series, Derek, it is that victory is going to belong to those who persevere the longest.
That's correct, Jack. And you see on screen, Hawks head coach Justin Tatum, who bounced back strong in game 2, made the proper adjustments. Now he's fully into this series, and he's got his team back in control of the home court. And his counterpart, Dean Vickerman. His team, since coming to Melbourne United, has appeared in 5 championship series, going for his 3rd title with Melbourne United, one of the real gurus of the NBL. He's got to come up with something big today with his team undermanned.
Brad Rosen, welcome to you. You got the championship ring on today, which is a nice bit of bling. Tyler Harvey is looking for exactly what you're wearing today.
Well, it was a bit of a quiet first game, I guess, when you look at Tyler Harvey, but we know, and you called it brilliantly, Jack, he is a big shot taker, big shot maker. And the other night, it was the Tyler Harvey we love to see. The floater game was going, the shot was going. It was an outstanding out-of-bounds play to be able to get him the ball and let him be able to play. And right over Ian Clark's nose, mind you, after fouling him and giving those 3 goes, what an outstanding shot. And there it is there, and it drops. And didn't the whole of Illawarra love seeing that?
Yeah, they want to see more of that today, and they'd love to see more from Trey Kell as well. An All-NBL first-teamer at the end of the season awards. Heavily criticised for his Game 1 performance. 18 points in Game 2, had 10 of them in the first quarter.
Yeah, he did, and well, I'm expecting him to have a much bigger game. He's back in front of this huge crowd tonight. He's such a key. When he plays, and when he and Tyler Harvey can get 40 combined, they don't lose games very much, so that's what he'll be looking. It's time to go to him, and he needs to get going early.
Derek, from a Melbourne United perspective, their fans watching at home today, Chris Goulding's had 15 points in Game 1, 17 in Game 2. Is today the game where he really takes hold of the series?
Well, I believe he has to. Without Shea Illy on the floor, the Melbourne United team will need a big offensive contribution from Chris Goulding. Now, he's been good in the series, Jack, make no mistake, but he hasn't had that big game where he's knocked down 6 or 7 threes, and that could be forthcoming today.
And then there's Ian Clark, whose contribution in the postseason has been enormous for Melbourne United. He's an NBA champion, he's an NBL champion, and clearly this time of year doesn't faze him at all.
And you can see he's looking for this moment. He's hunting for shots on the offensive end. He's doing a relatively good job defensively. And I think, again, with Chris Goulding, look for him to impact the game significantly early on. It is imperative that he knock down his first couple shots.
All afternoon long here at the Win Entertainment Centre, Joe Healy and Matt Russell have got every single thing covered. Welcome to both of you.
Jack, what a championship series we have on our hands, but tonight a big omission, Joe. The only United player to be part of every Melbourne final postseason game since he joined United in 2020 is not here. Shea Illy, back-to-back defending Defensive Player of the Year. What about that? You've got a health update on him.
Yeah, it's a massive blow for United. As we know, I've spoken to the club. They said he's doing really well. The fact that he flew with the team yesterday is a great sign. I did ask them whether they've got any idea if he'll be ready for Game 4. They said it's too early to tell. Basically, he's having to undergo daily assessments and continue to pass those in order to give himself a chance.
Wollongong's starting 5 is unchanged. Melbourne, what do they do?
They've opted to put Ian Clark in the starting lineup. We know what he has done all season. He's been incredible. Let's see how he is out there today. Jack, back to you.
Thank you very much, Joe and Matty. This place is absolutely pumping.
It's rocking in here, Jack.
It is so loud.
Our three officials in charge, Vaughan Mabry, Chris Reed and Michael Aylan. Game 3 is underway. The series locked away at 1 apiece. Ian Clark starting today for Shea Ely. Here's Jack White, an early moment of truth. He answers the call after being scoreless in game 2.
Great set from Dean Vickerman to get this game tipped off. They find good space for Jack White, and that will do his confidence immense wonders.
Harvey had the ball stripped by Clark. You could just see Jack White's body language. It was as if he's got that first one out of the way now. Golden catch and shoot in the corner. 6-0 start in the first 40 seconds.
Well, we knew they were going to come out hard. They don't like losing, and especially losing at home, and that is 2 outstanding plays to get their players going. Also love seeing Jack White being aggressive. This is huge for Melbourne so far.
The last 4 times Melbourne have lost, they have won the very next game. As Brad Rosen rightly points out, they don't lose that often, and when they do, they very rarely lose 2 in a row. Froling, fall away. Rebound by Marcus Lee. Playing some big minutes in this series. Golding backdoor. What about this start from the visitors?
Well, any momentum that Illawarra entered this game with is now gone. The 8-0 start from Melbourne United. This series is wide open again, Jack.
Twists and turns of a championship series. Swakala Bullock shooting at 40% plus across the playoffs. That rattles out. Brad, it feels like they've been jumped here, Illawarra.
They have. That was a quick 3, another one. They're jumping the way where the ball goes. They've just got to get back to their possession. The 8-0 is nothing to worry about. If you didn't expect Melbourne to come out with that cricket bat, oh yeah, I expected that, and I'm sure they did too. Obviously, Derek didn't.
You've been talking a lot about cricket bats this week, right?
I have.
I'm a bit worried about you. Dellavedova. Running the point, no Shea Ely for Melbourne today. If you have just joined us, that pass in a stray from White. Sam Froling forces his way in on Lee. He had Lee and Lowe in foul trouble. The first bucket brings a big roar.
Well, Lee got away with a foul early on, and then they went bully ball against each other, and this is not what Melbourne United wanted. This early start can easily be mitigated and benefit if Marcus Lee gets in foul trouble.
That's right. We spoke this week during the week about on NBL Now, and this is the problem that you have if you start these guys that are here, that they get into that foul trouble and it ruins the routine of what they're normally used to.
23 points, 5 rebounds. Sam Froling on Wednesday in game 2.
Like one, grab the cutter.
Now on this end, Jack White needs to be aggressive. You knock down your first shot, continue to look for opportunities offensively. I feel like he's passed up 2 chances to make plays since that time.
Dellavedova has Marcus Lee rolling. Jack White wide open instead. On the move, just as you asked for.
Attack the closeout. Great action there for Melbourne United to get White in a place where he had a mini advantage and then uses athleticism as Keatley finishes nicely.
Beautiful pass by Trey Kell. Outstanding on ball. Screen and roll by Illawarra Hawks.
A couple of good sets for the Hawks now. Just to settle their nerves a little bit. Very much got home court advantage this afternoon. Clark block, tipped in by Lee. So far, Melbourne are 4 of 5 from the field.
Screen here. And I like the quality of shot that they're getting on each possession.
It's past Peatling. Swakala Bullock was never missing 2 in a row.
Well, Brad, he's turned himself into one of the best 3-point shooters in the league. He's shot it well so far in this series.
And has not had a turnover the first 2 in a big games.
50% from 3. Only Swakala Bullock in the postseason. Trey Kell got them off to such a hot start on Wednesday. 2 points in the first quarter. And head back down to Froling. Was trying to overplay that left hand, and it worked. Peatling against his former team crashes the glass.
And it looked like there may have been a hint of a foul on Lee, not called.
3-point lead to Melbourne United.
Jack White has Harvey on him. You've got to take him down on the block, or at least back him down off the dribble.
Pass, Dellavedova for Lee.
Well, what a series Lee is having. He has just been so good for them the whole time he's been playing. Getting 2-2 again. He has not missed a shot this series.
Averaging 9 points, 8 rebounds in the postseason. Both up on his season numbers.
And that's good by Trey Kell. He is very good about getting in and out through here, and I like this substitution. Rob Lowe coming in. Derek, you just mentioned about Marcus Lee. And in comes Opens as Coppins as well, which is an interesting substitution here for Delhi. Obviously, Dean Vickerman has seen something, and with no Shea Ili, he's changing things up.
Marcus Lee, after we see him dunk on the Amy replay, Dean Vickerman says, "Come have a seat with me." And Rob Lowe comes in.
Here is Tom Coppins, the youngster out there in Game 3 of a championship series, and straight away put his head down and went to the basket.
Well, Dean Vickerman, as well as being one of the most astute coaches in the NBL, is also one of the most courageous and ruthless. And he's not willing to go to his bench, as we see Wakala Bullock thinking that he got that one clean. Perhaps it was the body early.
It certainly looked clean on the hand, and you're right, I think just down low in the body. But how about the confidence of Coppins? Comes straight out, gets the ball, goes straight to the hoop. That misses his first free throw.
21 years of age. He's got a seriously bright future in this league. I'm not even sure he thought his number would have been called so early in this game.
Well, Illawarra making some substitutions. Dave O'Hickey and Hung Jung Lee. Now, watch out for Lee here. They normally run something straight away from him. He'll get his head under the ring and come either way, more so to the right side of your screen, or the top of your screen, looking to get that shot off.
Darius Day's out there also been very quiet in the postseason. Just 6 points in both games of this championship series. Play breaks down for Lee. Shot clock will be reset to 14.
And with these substitutions of Lee and Hickey, two of the best in plus-minus in the NBL and NBL25, and that's the primary reason why the Hawks are #1 in bench points scored per game. Ooh. Now we've got that matchup we had foreshadowed during the week, Clark and Harvey.
So this is the big question, Derek and Brad. What happens for Melbourne today if Ian Clark or Matthew Dellavedova get in foul trouble?
Well, I think then you have to go to young Flynn Cameron.
Yeah.
And maybe you get a little bit bigger as a result of that, but certainly Clark needs to be really good on the defensive end with his discipline.
And Tanner Krebs was great in Game 3 as well.
Correct.
Game 2, I'm sorry.
Harvey with 6 on the clock, trying to create bailout pass to Froling. Rob Lowe very careful on that first possession, had a lot of foul trouble in Game 2. Coppins hits the offensive glass, back out for Golding. It was a good look that goes begging.
Well, good sign that Coppins has the awareness off of an offensive rebound to find his shooter.
Darius Days, the first to Harvey. Hawks wind that shot clock down again. He's lethal when he puts the ball on the floor.
He's just able to get inside and create contact. That's the biggest thing. Watch here. He'll go middle, creates the contact, lets the referee know, and there is arguably the greatest floater in the NBL, and that's Ian Clark's second. I'm sorry, Jack White. I'm sorry, second foul.
And Harvey's so difficult to contain because he's an outstanding ball handler, but he's got the herky-jerky stop-and-go body movements, and when you pair that with his quickness and his talent, and he's a lot taller than you think, he's a really hard cover as he clangs that one.
Which is very rare for Tyler Harvey, 90% free throw shooter for the season. Golding to the boos of the Illawarra faithful. Fair to say he's friendless here this afternoon. Don't bother him. Hickey downhill, eyes only on the basket. Can't score. Hung Jung Lee came flying in.
Well, these are the efforts.
Desperation?
These are the efforts that win basketball games. Everyone just stood around and watched that, and Hung Jung Lee came flying in. You will see here, Hickey, look at Hung Jung Lee. No one boxes out, just goes after it, and he just wanted it more, Derry.
Well, he's primarily known as a shooter, but this is the underrated aspect of his game, his ability to rebound the basketball and his effort. 6'7" out of Davis in college. Had to get that one right, didn't you? Yeah. South Korean, product of the NBA Global Academy out of Canberra.
He didn't mention that when he was shooting, he never went in and rebounded, did he,
No.
Jack? Numbers prove that.
Illawarra's done a good job just to peg this lead back down to 2, got the crowd back involved in the game.
Melbourne with an 8-0 start to the game. They were away fast, but the Hawks, as Derek said, just changed things back towards their favour. Rob Lowe with the size advantage over the top of Lee. It'll be a Melbourne ball.
And that is good defence by Illawarra. They look to go and double, but there's no need to double down there. I'm happy with Rob Lowe taking that floater rather than Krebs, Clark or Delhi shooting that 3.
Pretty tough postseason, Rob Lowe, in the semi-final series against Perth and this championship series too. Clark misses a bunny. Ulbrich quickly to the other end, changes his mind, back out for Hickey. What a roll!
Outstanding play there from Lachlan Ulbrich. Was trying to go one-on-one, realizing he didn't have a play. Kicks it out to Davo Hickey. Hickey's growing in confidence from the three-point line. Tangerine timeout, Melbourne United.
It's the Hawks who take the lead for the first time today off the back of a Will Hickey 3, and what a series Sam Froling is having. And Matty caught up with him pre-game and spoke about his confidence coming into today.
Yeah, massive. I mean, that first game we controlled it for the first 3 quarters, and then they come out in the 4th and took it to us and took the game. So to get that one on the road, we needed it, and to be able to come back here and play in front of this crowd is going to be really fun.
Sam Froling against Melbourne this year, 5 games at 18 points and 8 rebounds, really good shooting efficiency as well. What do you like about this matchup?
I mean, they like to play the single coverage, and that works for me. I back myself in the one-on-one battles. And then it's hard for them to double because we've got so many talented guys that can shoot the ball that, if that double does come, it's an easy pass for me to make. So, it's a bit of pick your poison with them, I guess, and I've just been the benefit of it.
Sam Froling been a major part of this series. Will Hickey has been a major part of the season for Illawarra. Brad mentioned it before. He's plus 291 for the season. He's knocking down threes, and you go back to this time last year in the semi-final series, Brad, game 2 here, Melbourne versus Illawarra, he made a name for himself.
And I know I've said it a number of times, I've had a lot to do with this kid, and it was all about confidence. That's as simple as it is. He's loving playing under Tatum, he loves playing, there it is again, he just gets his hands on the ball, and he just has a way, and his athleticism is brilliant.
Just makes things happen.
Yeah. Great energy, great nose for the ball.
We tick down to 3 minutes before quarter time. This has been some sort of run from the Hawks. They've scored the last 8 points in the game. Hickey. Does that rattle out? Matty Russell courtside here at the Wynn Entertainment Centre.
Justin Tatum preaching rebounding. He told his team, don't watch someone go for the board, you go and get it. Bearing in mind the team that has won the rebound count the first 2 games of the championship series has won the contest. Most recently, the Hawks 22-9-0 rebounding in Melbourne. Joe Healy, down to you.
Can't get a word in over this Hawks crowd. Said he's happy with the pace and the intent in which they are playing. Obviously, a couple of missed bunnies, but they're getting good looks. He focus on.
Joe Healy courtside. That's the noise inside this place. Well, hard to hear yourself think.
Absolutely, but why we saw that, what was interesting is Trey Kell hitting that 3. That is a big momentum change for him personally.
Hickey left open. Can't hurt them twice. Hawks by 4. Melbourne have just gone a little dry offensively in the last few minutes. Clark tees off. percentage down to 40% now for United. It's as high as 60 only a few minutes ago.
Mismatch here.
Cal over the top of Lowe. Win for Melbourne defensively, and then a double foul. Kyle Bowen. Double foul. And Lockie Olbrich.
13.
Not too happy with each other.
Well, I thought it was a good box out by Bowen first. And then you're just watching here. Here's a good box out. He just pushes him under the ring, which is quite legal, and that's fine. And then it was just this little pump and everything, and a grab right there.
Double. I saw the replay on the big screen. Here, Ruck, it was like when your two kids get caught fighting with each other. It's like, he did it, no, she did it, no, he did it. They're both trying to dob each other in.
Well, I think ultimately the right call was made, and Melbourne United get the basketball. Melbourne United have a problem with generating enough offensive scoring. And they've been stuck on 15 for a couple of minutes now.
Golding back out there with 5 points. He and Jack White are their leading scorers so far. Dellavedova takes it upon himself.
Well, he's been very tough with that step back and his physicality inside the key. That didn't drop, but it is a good shot for him and Melbourne United.
Harvey found the roll-up. Olbrich forces his way in. Great work from the youngster.
He's so strong, and I love how he keeps his hips low so that he can drive and maintain balance. And he just got up under Marcus Lee and was able to finish over him, as Hung Jung Lee will be called for that foul off the ball on Chris Golding.
And Jack, you talk about a year ago with Davo Hickey. What about Lockie Olbrich? Yep. This guy has stepped up in the last year and just seems to be growing and growing. And the other night when he and Sam Froling were on together, that was nice on the court. I'm sure they'll go back to that at some stage tonight.
He's plus 32 in the playoff series, Lockie Olbrich.
Yeah, and plus 10 in this one already.
Doesn't drop. Marcus Lee flies high. Breaks an 11-0 run. Comes at a good time for Melbourne.
Oh. And some hand fighting off the ball between Dellavedova and Harvey. Harvey trying to break free. Dellavedova, of course, going to be very physical.
Don't forget, of course, you can win a Mitsubishi ASX. It was the vehicle that got us down here this afternoon to the Wynn Entertainment Centre. And it was a good fun ride as well. It's a beautiful ride. Jump online now, nbl.com.au/car. Or scan the QR code. Sooner rather than later. Correct. Matthew Dellavedova. He's wearing Tyler Harvey like a second skin in this game. There is no space out there at all for the Hawks sharpshooter.
Well, he's taken the defense and the burden of it upon himself.
Shot clock at 9. 7 seconds ahead of the game clock. Golding playing through the contact.
A lot of contact.
The Hawks crash the glass again. Plenty of time for one good look. Ball in the hands of the right man. And he throws up an airball.
Nice penetration and kick out.
It's not 7 seconds to go in the fourth quarter, Jack. Anything can happen with that shot. It only drops automatically back then.
That was nothing but that fresh Wollongong air. That was strange.
It was early as well, so not only that, now you're giving Melbourne the opportunity to get a good look. 4.8 seconds is a huge amount of time at this time of the game.
There's a big bucket opportunity here for Melbourne United because, again, they've been outplayed in this first quarter.
They're fixing it.
And that's pretty much been the tale of the first 2 games thus far.
5.5 seconds now that the clock's been adjusted for Melbourne. Dellavedova, Greta falls over, and that'll be an offensive foul.
Wow.
Second on Chris Golding.
I'm not sure if it's on Chris or Lee.
It is on Marcus Lee, my apologies. Yeah. So a second foul, almost a meaningless foul in the scheme of the game.
Whoa.
Well, it's his left leg.
Well, that angle didn't show much grab.
Didn't look like much at all.
Perfectly still for the play.
Just not sure if that left foot moved just slightly, which could have caused it.
So 2 for Lee, 2 for White. Harvey from halfway. Hawks away to a fast start in Game 3 on their home floor. They lead 22-17 at the Wynn Entertainment Centre. You are watching the Hungry Jacks NBL.
Welcome back to the Hungry Jacks NBL. It's a hostile environment here in Wollongong at the moment. The Hawks lead Melbourne United by 5 points at quarter time. Dean Bickerman's men started well, but it started to slow down for them late in the first. Matty, what about the Hawks? Can they carry on with this momentum here?
The Hawks are celebrating winning their 23rd first quarter of the season, Joe, most in the league. And it was actually Hawks assistant coach, Sam Gruggan, who praised his team and said, boys, they scored the first 8 points of the game. You kept them to 9 points for the last 9 minutes of that first quarter. Delighted with their defensive application, Jack.
Great work, Matty. Great work, Joe. 5-point lead of the Hawks. They're in possession to start the second quarter. Some adjustments for Melbourne to make. Sam Froling has got that look in the eye again, just like he had on Wednesday.
And Melbourne United have a problem with the bigs. White and Lee currently in foul trouble with 2 apiece. Rob Lowe has not been effective in the series so far, Jack. Melbourne United getting dominated in the paint. Sam Froling is having his way. And the other thing is, Brad, offensively, Melbourne United function much better when Marcus Lee is in the lineup. They're right now a -11 with Rob Lowe's minutes.
Well, it's going to struggle, and also with the fact that Marcus Lee picked up that second foul. What do you do if you're a coach? You put him in, he gets his third foul. Now you've got to run with Lee or Jack White in the 5.
Get back to Jack White shortly. I know he's been spoken about a lot after Wednesday. Clark, little turnaround jumper, doesn't go. Melbourne's shooting percentage is falling through the floor here. They're now down to 35%.
They've got to find a way to free up their shooters right now. Illawarra doing a good job of giving Melbourne United shooters off the 3-point line.
Harvey swings cross court for Cal. Finally read it better. That little awkward bounce off the rim. Swakala Bullock had time to line it up. It was in, it was out, it was in, it was out.
They're getting good looks at it. Melbourne United playing with fire, Brad.
Yeah, they are.
Lowe trying to face up, little handoff to Clark in the mid-range.
Well, I feel Melbourne are having good looks. You look at a couple of shots they've missed. So I feel they're getting the shots they want, and that's a shot you want as well. But right now, Illawarra are not taking advantage of the Melbourne misses.
10 from long range, the Hawks. This score could be much further to their advantage if they start knocking down 3 balls. Clark misses again. He's 0 from 7. Dellavedova tries his luck. He can't score.
It's really dried up since the 5-minute mark in the first quarter as Blanchfield gets to the bucket. Just no rim protection from Melbourne United. The Hawks just need to stay with that method of attack.
Well, that's unacceptable if you're Melbourne.
Oh, boy.
And I think that's going to be called on Tyler Harvey here. And that's unacceptable. You can't allow a layup right now. There's Dellavedova's miss. But look at Blanchfield. Coming all the way down, no talk, no communication, no split line. And he just laid it up, Derek Rucker.
Well, something has gone in Melbourne United's favor, and that Tyler Harvey just drew his second foul. And he'll be seated on the bench as...
Well, I like this change-up. Yeah, they'll take him out. But what they're now doing is they're bringing Lockie Albrook in with Sam Froling. This worked the other night, these two-headed monsters, and I like it.
There's a big lineup Illawarra have on the floor.
Lee, Froling, Albrook, Hickey, Blanchfield out there for Illawarra. Not a lineup we've seen a lot. Dellavedova, Lowe, Golding, Krebs, and Bowen for Melbourne. A little find underneath. Nice vision from Lowe, and Kyle Bowen will be on the line.
Foul 30, Black.
And a pretty good foul there, hard foul. Didn't let Bowen get the ball up above the rim, and he'll have to go the line to shoot two, where there are better free throw shooters around the league.
74%, so not a horrible number. That makes the first. The second quarters in this venue have belonged to Illawarra this season. They are 11 of 13 in quarter number 2 at the Wynn Entertainment Centre. This is a very, very crucial period for Melbourne in this game. Will always attract a crowd when he can get his feet into the painted area.
That's just a bad matchup. Rob Lowe really struggles to move his feet, and Froling continues to expand his skill set, and his confidence is growing on a daily basis.
Well, this is the problem, Derek. What do? You don't want to put Marcus Lee in with 2. Do you go with Jack White and hope the athleticism can stay with him?
Golden gave it up for Krebs, whose form in the postseason continues. Tanner Krebs shooting it at 63%.
And it's important for Melbourne United. They scored more from beyond the three-point arc than any team in the league. It's a major part of their offensive output.
Back down to Froling. As Derek said, that this matchup working for the Hawks. Blanchfield catch and shoot.
They triple-teamed him on that one.
Marcus Lee still sitting with 2 fouls. Jack White getting ready to check back in. Golding with plenty of space. And the crowd's going to love that. A very rare Chris Golding air ball.
Well, they're lucky. Illawarra are lucky. There was lack of communication. It happened the other night as well, where they just didn't communicate, and they give CG or Ian Clark that look. And whilst he may have missed that one, he did get a good look at it.
Matty Russell.
We know that Dan Greeter is normally a spark plug and energizer for Illawarra. Well, today he's got a big contingent of family and friends in the house. You watch Dan Greeter go in the next few minutes.
We saw the Greeter family in the warm-up. There's a couple of people that look a lot like him. Long hair and all. Great to see. Tough turnaround. Lee kept Albrook off the glass. A lot of noise inside the Wynn Entertainment Centre today. Good for Dellavedova. There's Greeter. The family will love that. Hawks by 6. First chance in a while just to catch our breath for a moment. Hickey tees off. Second 3 of the game.
I'm not sure you can be that distant from William Hickey when he lines it up. He's starting to show that he has belief in his 3-ball.
Well, Derek, at the beginning of the series, I'd say yes, but he's starting to make them, so you'll have to respect it and get closer now.
And Jack White's still too tentative.
Shot wasn't there for Marcus Lee. The Hawks are surging. Blanchfield relocates. Offensive rebound, Olbrich. Hawks can reset.
Smart. Let the ball get in and out. Get it off throwing here. Let him roll into the block.
9-point lead right now. Hickey, left wide open. He's already knocked down 2.
Brad, just watching this game, I'm starting to feel that Illawarra believe they're clearly a superior team.
You can just feel it, and I completely agree with you in this. Illawarra, you sit here and they're only up by 9 at the moment. It feels like it could be 15 and 20, and it's only because of the way they're playing. It's not that Melbourne are doing it at the other end.
31-22. 4 and nearly a half minutes remaining before half-time. Melbourne up against it right now. They trail by 9. Let's take a listen to their coach, Steve Bickham.
So you got Dell right here for a quick one. Catch that extended break. Good shot. Unlucky. Hey, I just want to go back to 4-man carry on this next one. All right. As you're coming downhill, let's go on the other side right now. CG coming off. I want this flash right now. It's so on, fellas. All right. You're shifting over here. So as CG comes off right now, Whitey's diving. We're making this flash. Look into this high-low. You guys are spotted on this weak side. They're playing with you guys if we don't have anything right now. Hey, yes, we're unders on Davo, but we got to get back as well. Keep rebounding.
31-22 out of the Tangerine timeout. Now, Derek, I heard you talk about some of the greatest offensive teams of all time a couple of weeks ago. You've got the 2025 Illawarra Hawks there. They average 101 points a game, but there's some heavy hitters next to them.
There are the championship winners in '97, the Tigers led by Andrew Gaze, who averaged 31 that season. Timmons, Giddy, Copeland, Gaze, just Bradkey, outstanding. The Townsville Crocs, who ironically lost to the Hawks in 2001 in a championship series. Beautiful offense, ran the triangle. But this team right here, the Illawarra Hawks, are the best team of recent history. And if Melbourne United don't find a way to either get ample points on the board, Brad, or find a way to slow them down, which I don't like their prospects of, this series is going to be over in 4.
Well, these next couple of minutes will be huge, because I agree with what Jack's saying here is Melbourne haven't been up enough right now. Sorry, Illawarra haven't been up enough. I like this Melbourne United team. It's a team that can score from everywhere on the floor, and if Illawarra aren't dropping shots here, this is going to be a 1 or 2 point game very quickly.
Athletic rebound from Tanner Krebs. White's left alone in the corner. He drew a closeout. It gets to the basket. Big for the confidence of Jack White, and straight away, Justin Tatum has seen enough. He wants to nip it in the bud and have a chat about things in a Tangerine timeout.
And that's how White must attack closeouts. Play with less fear. Just go for it. You are highly skilled and athletic. You can make plays. You just got to erase the doubt.
So better offense from Melbourne United. Tangerine timeout. Ian Clark has been such a big factor in this final series, and he caught up with his pre-game.
Well, Ian, Melbourne United, the only team to win on this floor twice this season. I know it's the away venue, but how do you feel about this arena?
It's the finals, so not really worried about the arena. We know the environment they're going to have here. It's going to be loud. They show up for their team, but our job is to come out and try to match the energy tonight.
In the finals, in the postseasons, personally, your numbers and efficiency have really spiked. How? Why?
I mean, you know, you don't get this opportunity every year. You know, it's no guarantee that you get to make it to the finals. So I want to do my job, and I'm sure everybody on my team as well. You want to take advantage of the opportunity. That's what I'm trying to do now.
Ian, I know it's 1-1, but in both games, United have allowed Illawarra to get out by double figures. How much has that been spoken about in the preparation for Game 3?
You know, it's about, you know, how they play. They get up and down the floor really fast. They really punish you for turnovers and bad shots, and they get out in transition and get easy baskets. So that's something that we've been talking about the last couple days, and want to make sure that we limit those.
Plenty of championship experience from Ian Clark. He's been through the highs and the lows of this time of year. It's such a steadying factor for them. Swakala Bullock. Perfect offense out of the timeout from the Hawks.
Outstanding execution. I thought Days had the roller, bypassed him and found Swakala Bullock wide open on the wing. Big play there by the Hawks.
Beautiful.
Beautiful pass, great pass by Ian Clark. Obviously, CG43 coming off, looking for that shot. Lack of communication against Illawarra, get the open look.
Right now, with the Hawks paying so much attention to Chris Goulding as we look at the Amy replay. Days right there, does a good job, keeps it simple, finds Swakala Bullock, knocks down the 3. But with so much attention being at Goulding, use him as a decoy in screening situations and then exploit the Hawks off of that.
Yeah, travel, he skipped his feet there, that's a good call. And Derek, I'm right with you. I mean, CG43 is outstanding, he's done it for so long. And the only difference I feel now is Clark is in that rhythm now, right? He missed a few shots, he was 0 of 7, he's made his one little runner with the left now, and I feel that if they can get him going, we're going into half very close.
So a quick scan of the numbers has Jack White as the leading scorer in the game so far, 9 points. Did not take a field goal in game 2. He's a different man today.
Just play basketball.
Yeah.
And not be in your head thinking about what if.
They're back to 3. They trailed by as much as 9 a couple of minutes ago, Melbourne. Illawarra just having a little flat patch. Hickey's out there to give them some energy.
That's nice basketball. Quick hands, Brad. Love that nice interior passing.
That was quick by Ian Clark. Just getting back to that last play, Derek, you're right. And why did it happen? They got the ball into Sam Frolling's hands. He doesn't necessarily always shoot it, but good things come off from it.
Hey, I'm Mick. Jack, let's keep an eye now on Ian Clark. This is his first time getting to the free throw line. He's 1 of 8 from the field. Let's see if 2 made free throws can just give him a little mental boost.
13 points in game 1 of the series here.
And if I'm Ian Clark, I would be taking out Lee here, and I can see Rob Lowe coming to the bench. You don't want him to pick up his 3rd right now. This would be tough coaching situation, and I know Lee's playing well, but sit him. We've got 2 minutes. We'll just see you next half.
Rob Lowe was sitting right in front of us, Brad. He heard all of that and just gave you the little thumbs up.
Gave the thumbs up.
So that's why you get paid the big bucks.
Well, this game 3 has turned into the biggest chess match of the series so far. Both teams have ramped up their defense. The shooting's gone a little bit astray, but the coaches are really working overtime, trying to find the right lineups and combinations.
It's at the point now, it's almost minute by minute now, this series. Not quarter by quarter or run by run, it's minute by minute. The 2 best teams in the league all season squaring off over 5 games. Froling fires it inside for Peatling.
Beautiful screen and roll action. The ball gets great move from Kell. Back to Froling. Good things happen.
Listen, Peatling has 8 points, playing a really nice cameo for them today. Spent some time in the Melbourne United program. Part of their title team in 2020-21. Clark high off the glass.
Beautiful action there. Just the slip of the screen. Clark gets the ball. And you've got to respect him from the 3-point line. Quick. First couple of steps and lays it up.
Wanting to get himself involved in the game, and Illawarra continue to get buckets underneath.
And easy buckets off of nice pass penetration, or in that case, dribble penetration. Delhi does his thing.
I've heard you call it before, the bully ball. He is just amazing at it. He's just able to get his body where he needs to and gets them a score.
First points of the game for Matthew Dellavedova. 0 of 5 prior to that. Cal off the back of the iron. Nice hustle by Lee. Hawks get another look at it. Froling running out of options. This wasn't what they drew up. And the results show that. United trail by 3. Dellavedova scores, and it's a 1-point game.
And again, you see the grit and determination of Melbourne United, and that's exemplified by the play of Dellavedova. Hasn't been outstanding in the game, but the last 2 possessions found ways to get himself on the scoreboard.
Turn at 10.
Shot clock at 7. Goulding stripped Cal of it. On his way to the basket. Can't score. And he will shoot free throws to give Melbourne a halftime lead.
Brad, we talk about when a team gets out in the lead, as we look at the replay, and Swakala Bullock just with the low body contact when Golden's in the air, so that's got to be a foul. But the inability to take advantage of opportunities, leads, and that's what the Hawks are experiencing right now, and this can have a mental impact on you in a very adverse way for the rest of the game.
100%. And Derek, the thing that's interesting is this has happened in all 3 games. And we talk about how the offensive team has let a defensive team back in or the opposite team back in. But what it really is, it just goes to show how very good both of these teams are and how they change up things.
We're going to check out all the NBL on social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, at NBL on all the socials. You can see all the good stuff, all the behind-the-scenes footage and pics from this championship series.
Very pretty pic of Brad. I'm sure his wife was happy with that one.
Spent a lot of time with our digital editor, Brad, after that photo. So maybe a little bit of airbrushing, perhaps.
I resemble that remark.
Timeout to the Hawks.
Well, we talk about momentum, and I don't know about you two guys, but if I'm Melbourne, I'm going into halftime ecstatic with the way we're playing, because really they should be down by 10-15 the way it's felt.
Well, there was a patch there early in the second till about the 2-minute mark in this quarter where Illawarra had a chance to really build this up to a double-digit lead, but didn't get it done.
Justin Tatum, Dean Vickerman, 2 of the premium coaches here in the NBL, with the last set of instructions for their men before the main break. See Matt Flynn, one of their assistant coaches, in there drawing something up for them as well. This game, in the context of this series, is crucial. We head back to Melbourne on Wednesday, game 4 of the series at John Cain Arena. Someone will be playing for the championship on Wednesday.
And Jack, when you look at the analysis of the numbers, this is almost a statistically balanced first half. It's incredible.
Well, the thing I'm doing now, being that it's Illawarra's ball here, I'm fouling if I'm United. You've only got 1 foul for the quarter. They can't shoot free throws until it's 5 fouls, so I would be letting them come over to halfway. You don't let anyone foul from Melbourne that is in foul trouble, but then just stop the clock, because they would have run something trying to get fast-paced here.
They've got all their shooters out there, Illawarra, Harvey, Lee, Kell, Swakala Bullock and Blanchfield. Time is their friend here. Harvey on the move, inside for Kell. Brilliant way to finish off the half for the Illawarra Hawks. And the Win Entertainment Centre comes alive. It's Illawarra who lead by 1.
Terrific play drawn up by Justin Tatum, leading to that bucket to finish the first half. Outstanding half of basketball by both teams. Defense is really locking in this first half.
Premium possession off that last one has Trey Kell with a bucket to finish off the half. Let's get to Joe Healy.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I've got Jack White with me. Jack, a great first half from you, 12 points. How are you feeling personally? I feel like knocking down that first 3 definitely helped.
Yeah, good. Just trying to be aggressive. Obviously wasn't myself or felt like I was assertive as I needed to be last game, or even, to start the series so far. So definitely, felt like I needed to step it up. And, boys are looking for me. I felt like we had just good spacing off the ball and penetration to open some closeouts up and, some lanes. So I was just trying to take advantage. But, yeah, fortunate enough to be on the receiving end of a few.
You guys started to generate a bit of momentum there in the second. What's working and how do you continue with that in the second half?
Defense. We had much better foul discipline in that second quarter and kept them off the line. They're a tough team. We hold them to 20 points. Our goal's 22. So, we're in a decent spot, and we trust that our offense is going to take care of itself, especially if we do the things that we know we can do offensively, defensively, and have that flow into our offense. So just trying to be us, trying to, live our identity as best we can.
Great work. Good luck for the rest of it.
Appreciate it.
Matty, over to you.
Mason Peatling, 4 of 5 shooting. Nice to have 8 points on the board personally.
Sure. I think we're up 1, that's better, but it's a big second half coming up for sure.
You gave them an 8-point start. You fought back to lead by 9, and it's tight at half-time. What went right and wrong in the first half in your eyes?
They came out shooting the ball really well. We limited them to 1 shot for the back end of the first, start of the second, but then they clawed it back, got those 50-50 balls and started getting on the rim, so we've got to do a better job stopping that.
It's a great series. Well done, Mason. Enjoyed the second half. Stay with us here because it is tight, it is tense at the Sandpit in Wollongong. The Hawks fighting hard to lead by 1 at halftime. Illawarra 42, Melbourne 41. We're back to the gong right after this.
That's 4 boards for Jesse Wagstaff and an excellent catch. Comes up to 39. Kings have had enough.
Take your game from the local court to the big time. Step onto an NBL court after the final buzzer. Backing local ballers is just the beginning.
Well, we have a chess match on our hands at the Wynn Entertainment Centre. A 1-point lead at halftime for the Illawarra Hawks. No major stars asserting dominance on this game so far. It's those guys right there, the coaching staff, that are being put under the most pressure right now. Peter Hooley, Leonard Copeland, as we go to the box score right now. Anything that really jumps you, it's tough to split these two at the moment.
I mean, Melbourne United got out to an 8-0 start before Illawarra started to claw back, and you're right, it's been all the complementary pieces of both teams. And you look at the Illawarra Hawks, their two leading scorers are Mason Peatley and Wani Swafel-Bullock, who happen to be their two biggest negatives in the plus-minus. So that's where Justin Tatum's got to figure out. They're the only ones putting points on the board because Tyler Harvey and Trey Gill are struggling. But they're the worst plus-minus, so there's a lot to juggle in the second half.
You know what I see out there? They've only taken 6 free throws, which means they're not putting any pressure on Melbourne United. Their big guys are getting the ball inside, which is great. But Kel's not using his body. He's not banging. He's not going to the free throw line. And sometimes when you're struggling, you need to get yourself going at the free throw line, as we've seen in Ian Clark.
We spoke pre-game saying the biggest thing coming out of this for Melbourne United was finding Jack White some form. He currently leads all scorers with 12, and he's found it. Peter Hooley, Dean Bickerman from the jump ran a set to get him a shot right off the bat.
That was it right there. They get a couple of handoffs, and he stepped into a three ball super confidently, and then this was the next play down, and he's starting to really get some confidence going, and this is what we expect to see. If he's going to continue to play like this series is well and truly alive, because he can be a mismatch nightmare because of his size and athleticism, but all we really wanted to see was the aggression side of it. But he's shooting the ball well, and he's smiling, and it's a stark difference to game two.
There's nothing like seeing that first shot go down. You guys have played the game. You know what it's like, especially when you're struggling. This guy's 5 for 5 from the field. He's going to the glass, and like you're right, he's having a good time. It's nothing like playing in a tough series, but having a good time with it.
This Illawarra Hawks team rides the highs and the lows of Trey Kell and Tyler Harvey, and right now we're not seeing what we saw from them in game two, so they'd be pretty buoyed by the fact that they still have a 1-point lead at the half.
For sure, I mean, it speaks to the Hawks' depth in terms of how deep they can go and have impact guys, but you have a look at it here, 3 points, 5 points for Kell, 3 for Tyler Harvey, and I'm looking at this, Copes, before you even say it, 4 and 5 field goal attempts is not enough, but they're all NBL first teamers.
Let me tell you something. Yes, they got a 1-point lead at halftime, but if these two guys continue to struggle, Melbourne United will walk out of here with a win. Trust what I say.
Tough to see them still going into the second half with that, but Leonard, Pete, the trend is your friend, and we've said it before, the yo-yo from Trey Kell. We could have predicted this was going to happen.
Well, again, it's fascinating because Shea Illy's not there, Melbourne United's best perimeter defender, but they're doing it by committee, and I love that Dean Vickerman has been playing. Anytime a big's not up to the level, he just subs them out, he brings someone in. We saw Tom Coppins in the first quarter for a minute and a half, so he's holding everybody accountable, but you're right. The Hawks need one of their all-NBL first teamers to fire. It doesn't matter which one it is, but right now they're both not performing.
Both have the green light as well. Hey, he's up, he's down, he's left, he's right. I'm getting sick standing over here watching him. Somebody put the ball in the hole, bro.
Well, if you're getting sick of watching these two right now, because Daly and Ian Clark right now, it is trench warfare, and these two fellas are on the front lines right now just struggling to get it going.
Well, that's the other side of it, is that they're getting up more shots than the other two, but have struggled. Ian Clark got his last 2 field goals late in that second quarter. He's had good looks, and you know that Dean Vickerman's going to keep telling him, hey, keep shooting the ball, keep being aggressive, but they'll be looking for them, one of those two, to help spark everybody else in the second half.
They keep taking the shots. You said it. If they're not taking the shots, they can't make the shots. Get them up. You're a good enough player where the ball will eventually go in. Take the right shot.
This game just started to open up in the final 5 minutes there, and I expect this second half we're going to see a bit more free-flowing hoops. A 1-point lead to the Illawarra Hawks. Second half up next.
Hungry Jack's NBL Final Series is here. To celebrate, the NBL and Mitsubishi are giving you the chance to win a brand new Mitsubishi ASX. Enter now at nbl.com.au/car for your chance to win. Nothing between the Illawarra Hawks and Melbourne United. Game 3 of the Championship Series at the Wynn Entertainment Centre. Melbourne just will not go away in front of this raucous Hawks crowd who are trying to cheer their team home and are taking 2-1 series advantage. Derek Rucker, Brad Rosen alongside me. Gentlemen, it feels like there was an opportunity for Illawarra to really put some distance between them and Melbourne at the back end of that half, and they missed it.
They certainly did, and they got outscored 19-11 in the final 5 minutes of that second quarter. Melbourne United have found their offensive rhythm, but more importantly, Jack White was a perfect 5 of 5 from the field in that first half.
Outstanding coaching. They had some timeouts, they changed some things up, they were able to get some stops and get out and run, and Ian Clark also knocked some shots down as well.
Jack White, Matthew Dellavedova, Ian Clark, Marcus Lee, Chris Golding, the 5 for Melbourne, Tyler Harvey, Trey Kell the 3rd, Swani Swaka-Bullock, Sam Froling, and Mason Peatling. The starters once again for Illawarra. That's nice execution to start the half.
It wasn't ideal, it wasn't as perfect as we've seen them execute it, but right now, Brad, you're not asking how, you're just asking how many.
Absolutely, and great to go to Jack White again. Keep him going and get him into this game early in the second half again.
He's got 14 points now, Jack White, after being scoreless in game 2. Harvey, nice finish over the top of Marcus Lee.
And Harvey and Kell were relatively quiet. We had expected more coming back home for this big game 3, but they haven't fired yet.
Battle continues between Dellavedova and Kell. Fakes from Marcus Lee, then score from underneath, that's out of play. Hawks ball, Joe Healy.
Yeah, Justin Tatum will be happy that the way that the Hawks have started here. He said at halftime, he's looking to get his stars going. Tyler Harvey, Trey Kell, he wants some solid screens set for them so they can try and find their flow. He also looked down his bench and he said, I'm going to use our depth guys. Everybody stay ready.
I mean, one of their great strengths all season, Brad, the Hawks, is their ability to do just that, go to their bench and get some impact.
And they have all year long, and I like that they're going down to Sam Froling as Ian Clark shoots it as well. And look out! Here comes Ian Clark. This third quarter can be huge. In the last game 1, Melbourne won the third 21-14 and went on to win the game as Sam Froling missed that. Game 2, Hawks 31-20, and they win that game.
Dellavedova flies up the court. White for 3. Jack White is owning game 3.
We talked about the grit determination of this Melbourne United team. If they get the talent and the skill to go in sync with the grit.
Here he goes again. Slipped on the floor, drew the foul from Trey Kell. What a test of character that Jack White has faced in the days between game 2 and game 3. He was spoken about more than any other player in this series. He has stared doubt in the face today and won the battle.
Well, here's another test. He hasn't been to the free throw line yet.
So winning the battle. The battle is not done yet.
Well, straight away, Delhi goes straight up to him. Don't worry about that. The free throw line, you got the steal, you got down the other end, you're able to get the 2 shots.
It's 5 of 17 from the line in the playoffs coming into today. Another sigh of relief. Melbourne by 6.
Oh, there's Lee. He's got to be careful. He's holding. It was unnecessary. It was a foul, and now that's his 3rd.
Got the arm. Chris Golden just went straight to Marcus Lee and said, don't grab. And that's now 3 fouls for Marcus Lee, which we've said every game in this championship series that Marcus Lee is getting into foul trouble at crucial times.
He just didn't need it. Sorry, Derek, go.
He's so valuable, Brad. There's just no need to even try and deny that pass or any contact of that sort.
Roblo back out there. He's a -6 for the game, which means that Froling will get to work.
Well, it was good defense.
Every time Marcus Lee's off the floor, Brad, Froling steps up.
Yeah, it was good defense by Jack White. You can't do better than that. That was just outstanding offense by Sam Froling.
Feeling good about himself. That won't count.
This third quarter start is exactly what happened in game 1. where Melbourne United were down heavily and got themselves back into it as Harvey lets one go from the corner.
Hawks fans don't like that call. Sam Rollins first.
Well, you can just hear Sam Crowley. What he feels is he got pushed in the back, which pushed him in to Rob Lowe.
Jack behind you. Let's have another look at it.
No, I don't see enough there. That's a foul on Crowley for what I see.
Foul, you can't run.
Thanks for sitting on the fence, Terry.
You could have driven a bus between that paws, Terry. Game 3 at the Wynn Entertainment Centre. Game 4 next Wednesday at John Cain Arena. And if required, we are back here next Sunday to find a winner. Bowling 2 of 7 for the game, 1 of 5 from long range. Lockie Olbrich has one. Iswaka-Bullock. That just misses.
Nice play there from Olbrich. Sucks that double team in. Arc on transition. Both teams getting good looks at it now, Brad.
Yeah. I like the way they're moving. This man is who I want to see get to the hoop more. They're doing a great job on him, Melbourne.
Olbrich tried to find Iswaka-Bullock, but Golding saw it coming. 50-46. Sold out Wynn Entertainment Centre. Very much a home crowd. All the noise in favour of the Hawks.
That's world class.
I won't like that.
That is just world class to be able to catch that, move his body away from the defender so it doesn't get blocked.
And Dellavedova now with 8 assists. He's just been guiding this offense brilliantly.
Really emerging in the postseason one, Iswaka-Bullock. Averaging 8.5 points a game. Couple of rebounds, couple of assists. Golding from long range. Makes it a 7-point advantage to the visitors.
Iswaka-Bullock was thinking about the layup he made and got lost in his defensive assignment, tangled up, and allows Golding to break free for the 3.
Melbourne having a good period here in quarter number 3. A settler from one of the Hawk stars in Trey Kell.
Well, he needed that. Trey Kell, that's his 8th point, 2 of 4 from the three-point line.
18 points in game 2. Locked down the single figures. Dellavedova given room to shoot and cashes in. Melbourne starting to knock down the 3-ball in this 3rd quarter.
You know my theory, Brad. He doesn't have to make a high percentage. He just has to make enough of them.
Well, the big-time players are stepping up, and you're right, Delhi. There can be times that it doesn't look great, and it sometimes doesn't drop, but he has that knack of knocking down big ones.
4 minutes and 30 seconds. Brad Rosen said it. Quarter number 3, a crucial one. It has been in the series so far. Melbourne having the better of it. The Hawks won't be denied offensively, although that pass batted down. Here. A lob for Jack White. Timeout. Timeout called. Here's the Amy replay. Melbourne United skip out to a 7-point advantage again.
Well, I saw Clark go onto the wing, and that was a nice move to him that opened up the floor, but Delhi, he has just been doing that his whole career. Jack White way above the rim and lays it up.
I think he got fouled.
Yeah.
Peatling, that's what he's appealing for. That Amy replay, Justin Tatum fired up.
On the offensive end, we got to keep attacking the paint. Now I got first bodies. First bodies work. Quick minute. Let's go reverse down. Reverse down, Darius and T. Lucky, you go over here, you set it. Davo, you up top. You got me? Let's go, wake the fuck up. Early switches we need to. Get downhill tempo on misses. Let's get back in this game. Let's go. Defense, let's go.
They trail by 7. Justin Tatum with the phrase that we can't totally repeat, Brad, but it basically says wake up.
well, he's right. They haven't come out enough, and you see there, game 4, like you said before, Jack, someone will be playing that for the championship. And who will it be? And right now, Melbourne have come out in this third quarter and gone bang against Illawarra.
Just the ability to ramp up the defense and get critical stops, Brad. Melbourne United, that's been a part of their foundation as a club. And they've done a great job here in Wollongong on the Hawks home floor, where they've been outstanding all year shooting the basketball, but they've really got them rattled.
Coverage starts from 7 o'clock with thanks to basketball.com.au. Felix, Copes and Hools will be there. What does the equation look like by the time we get back to Melbourne on Wednesday? Will Hickey on the floor has been their spark plug all season long. He needs to lead the way for this team now, just like that.
Well, they should put Marcus Lee in as many on-ball and screen situations as possible, knowing he will be reluctant to foul.
Set from the Hawks out of the timeout. That's a nice set from Melbourne. Clark couldn't cap off the good work. Lee, I should say, couldn't cap off Clark's good work. Kyle Bowen with the rebound for Melbourne United. They've been much better on the glass. They've excelled at all season. Kyle Bowen reaching in. United by 5. Matt Russell, courtside.
15. Well, Jack, no team with 3 34-year-olds plus has won a championship, but that might be about to change this year, because in the timeouts, including the most recent one, Chris Golding, Matthew Dellavedova, Ian Clark having a lot to say, given their experience. Dean Vickerman, the 3-time Coach of the Year, welcomes that. He's open to that. And as I go to you, Joe, something similar is happening at the Hawks timeouts as well.
Yeah, exactly right, Matty. Toddy Blanchfield, he's been very vocal in timeouts for the Hawks. He's obviously one of their veterans in the group, urging this team in Game 3. Otherwise, in that last timeout, GT wasn't very happy with their defense. There was a bit of confusion with the way that they were switching. He said, guys, wake up. We've got to try and close this 5-point deficit.
It's just, to our eye courtside here, Derek and Brad, they just seem a little unsettled in the third quarter here, the Hawks.
They are, and a lot of that can be a product of them feeling like they let themselves down. And they have to relax, lock in defensively, and then just shoot the ball with confidence as Marcus Lee lines up his first one. It is short.
There's barely drawn iron in the first one.
It's important that they understand the situation that they're in. There has been ebbs and flows in every game this series, and it's not going to change right now. As we have burgers.
Yes, we do. Burgers courtesy of Marcus Lee. The code is alley-oop. They taste a little bit sweeter when they're championship burgers, including for us on the way back to the airport tonight. Olbrich.
Marcus Lee is taking a lot of chips.
Sure is. There's another one. Got away with potentially 2 fouls. Darius Dace throws up a little prayer.
The referee showing a lot of leniency. Vaughn Mayberry was right there. Could have made 2 calls. Elected not to.
Tony Turns on the move. Lost his balance. Does it go?
Wow, it's physical.
This has been much better from Illawarra since the timeout. Justin Tatum told him to wake up. And it feels like they have.
You try to hook that. You try to hook. Hang on, my ball. Sorry, mate.
Warning on the bench, eh? Okay. If anything, that's a hook down there, not a position. Warning on Melbourne bench.
Warning on Melbourne's bench from Chris Reed.
Warning on Melbourne.
Yes, bud. The tension and the drama continues to build here in Game 3. Melbourne's biggest lead in the game was 8. Illawarra's biggest lead in the game was 9. There's 1 point separating the two in Game 3.
One of the things I think's been good for Melbourne is when they set the screen, when they actually set it rather than slipping, as we saw there, they seem to get more off the action, as there, Delhi misses the 3.
Marcus Lee on the floor.
Yeah, just go with him. Just going back to what I was saying there, they seem to want to slip the screen, Derek, a lot and flare. I feel when they've been able to get and come off the screen, we've seen alley-oop dunks where you've seen White get layup or Lee, even though he missed that last one. I think that's more of a better action for them.
Yeah, make that contact. Hold that screen a little bit longer, display a little bit more patience, and that will open up something quicker than what you think. But Illawarra have done a really good job over the past 2 minutes to work back into this basketball game. Hickey will initiate the offense.
10 points for the game, Will Hickey. He's plus 12 for the game as well. That streak of being an impact player continues. Shows this man. Pop Jung Lee fires away and the Hawks back in front.
Great set run there. They ran a number of actions away from the ball. Hickey delivers it on time, on target to Lee. Big time three.
9-0 run for Illawarra since the timeout. Clark can't change that for Melbourne. Darius Days. Got it! Big shift in the game.
Well, their bench players have always been big. You said it before, Jack. Pung Jung Lee comes out, he hits a three. Darius Days and these 5,500 fans are loving it.
Oh, Kelly with an awkward call. Looks like he has jammed his right foot into the ground. The Amy replay shows H.J. Lee doing what he does best. Look at that camera work.
Darius Days, who we haven't seen a lot of in the series.
So we're going with that shot. Had that hamstring issue just towards the end of the year and really hasn't got back to the heights, but can play some key minutes here in this game and moving forward.
Well, only 10 minutes, he's a plus 19, Jack. You can say what you want about plus minus being irrelevant, but plus 19 is what it is.
That's relevant.
Play it safe, guys.
What an environment.
Sam!
If you're a Melbourne United player, this is like when Rocky fought Drago in the Soviet Union in 1985. One way is the noise for this crowd. Multiple attempts and Melbourne can't score.
Looked like contact on Clark's attempt wasn't blown.
Hickey. No good. Days hits the offensive rebound. They cannot be stopped right now.
Huge offensive glass, and not only that, puts it back so it gives them a 2-for-1 opportunity. Great minutes here from Days.
14 unanswered points for the Illawarra Hawks on their home floor. They look flat, they look lethargic, and they were looking for answers at the start of the third. It's a much different team now, and Marcus Lee will be on the charity stripe. A 55% shooter from there for the season.
And smart foul there from Days. Good awareness. Marcus Lee's already 0 of 2 and has donated cheeseburgers to the state of New South Wales.
You can be a part of history, of course. The New Orleans Pelicans are coming to Australia in early October. Register now. Get yourself sorted so that you can be there.
Woe to that free throw, and yes to that registration, Brad. I did mine yesterday.
Oh, I did mine the day it came out. Without a doubt, that is going to be an outstanding product to launch our NBL even higher than what it is at the moment.
We've already got burgers. The Hawks fans want a Sunday to go with it. Marcus Lee misses both.
Now we've got that matchup where Hickey is on, matched up with Lee, pulls a three.
Three-quarter time at the Wynn Entertainment Centre. And it's the Illawarra Hawks who have got the home fans on their feet. 67-60 they lead with a quarter remaining here on Sunday Hoops.
with 14 unanswered points. A simple message at the break. Great work, stay the you-know-what with it. Matty, what's happening down with United?
Well, Dean Bickerman urged his side to guard the 3-ball better. He said smash the boards. And you don't want to be a negative Nancy for the Hawks fans, but here's something from Melbourne United. Illawarra outscored in the fourth quarter in the postseason by 44 points. Game 1 of the championship series. Melbourne outscored them by 11. Game 2 by 9. Jack, hold on. We are going down the stretch.
We most certainly are, Matty. Thank you very much to you and Joe. What a run at the back end of that quarter from Illawarra. Really foul call. 2 black on 1 jug lead. 14 unanswered points, Derek and Brad. Justin Tatum called a timeout, gave them some home truths, and they've responded.
Well, Melbourne United started that third quarter on its own 19-9 run to take that lead, but that 14-0 run, we've talked about the importance of them in the second half. That was huge, and now they're in a really good position as Delhi lets one go, no good.
Rebounding count, Brad, just starting to go Illawarra's favour too. We know in this series, whoever wins the rebound count wins the game.
That's right, it's 33-29, which looks close, but that last quarter was a lot. They'll roll it in here, let him back down Jack White, and he needs to go to work here.
7 points for Darius Days. He adds 2 more. He's a plus 23 in this game.
So strong. He looks significantly better than even he did a week ago.
Everything happening for the Hawks right now. Cal bodies his way in. That one can't add to Melbourne's pain. Clark looks ahead, only Harvey in front of him.
Well, that is a beautiful crossover move by Ian Clark. It was a good stop down the other end, lucky, but he just looked like, look at this in-out. There, bang, just gets Harvey, and that is a foul on the body. Great work by Ian Clark.
Great matchup between 2 very intelligent, crafty, athletic guards. Clark sinks the first.
Well, the key here for Illawarra, Derek, is that they need to learn from the previous mistakes. And what I mean by that is, they don't have to shoot the 3-ball every single time they get it. Get the ball through good hands, make sure you get good looks, and don't allow this Melbourne team to come back into it.
They're leaving some points on the free throw line here. 9 of 16 for the day, Melbourne United.
Marcus Lee, the primary culprit, at 0 for 4.
One game apiece in the championship series. Wow. Too big, too strong.
Gets to a spot that is just too athletic. On top of what you said, Jack can throw in the little right-hand flip shot off his elevation.
Double-figure lead for the first time in the game for either team. It's a decisive one for the Hawks. Lee gave it up for Cal. He's quite a long way. Melbourne dodge a bullet, but they are just hanging in right now. This will help. Chris Golding, 4 of 11 for the afternoon. Melbourne, 8 of 24 from deep.
These Illawarra fans are loving it. They are standing until Melbourne score, and they are clapping, and the atmosphere in this stadium is electric as Harvey shoots a 3.
Get another look at it. Harvey swings to Juan Jung Lee. That's another big miss.
Well, they're a bit eager now. They smell the knockout punch. They're going for it. Probably a little bit more discretion on the offensive end, coupled with some patience.
A long way to go in the game, as this series has proved. Rob Lowe, big moment, delivers.
That's what he can do. And he can knock down just another 1 or 2, because he will have opportunities, although Marcus Lee is set to check into the game.
Puts the Hawks fans back in their seats, but only for a moment. Darius Days, another wild miss. They've had 3 in a row now, Illawarra. that have missed by a considerable margin.
Well, not only that, Tatum wouldn't be happy. He's bringing 4 players into the game. The only guy he's leaving out there that was there was Tyler Harvey, and rightly so. That is not learning from their mistakes. We just spoke about it, and they've shot 3 or 4 wild threes, and again, Melbourne stay in touch.
Look, there's a lot of emotion in the building, and sometimes that emotion can work against you as a home team, and you get sped up, you get overexcited, and I think that's what we've seen in those last 3-point attempts, Jack.
A lot of emotion and not a lot of air conditioning in the building. It is hot. 6 on the clock for Dellavedova. Has Marcus Lee rolling to the cup.
And that's the screen and roll I'm talking about. Rather than just slipping early, Lee was able to get the good screen and roll, and he gets a nice look at the rim. We've got a 5-point ball game.
8 points, 6 rebounds. Marcus Lee's contribution. They're a better team throughout the series when he's on the floor. The challenge for him, though, is at this end, staying out of foul trouble. Late clock for Tyler Harvey. Clark downhill. And we've got ourselves a 3-point game. The Hawks had the chance to completely slam the door shut. And Melbourne have kicked it back open again. 71-68, Game 3 of the championship series.
Okay. Well, really, when you look at the context of the way this season has gone, do we expect anything else? The way this series has gone, teams, and Derek, I want to throw this at you. Is it more that the offensive team is not learning, or the team that's up, I should say, rather than the opposition team is just being playing so well?
Yeah, I agree with you, and Illawarra right now have to settle down and not feel like you've let it get away from you. You still got a 3-point lead with the basketball, and now you just got to build on your defense and execute well on the offensive end. They've had really good looks.
Melbourne have scored the last 7 points in the game and are back to within 3 now, 71-68. Jack White has been monumental in this game. Unsighted on Wednesday. He has 20 points on 8 of 9 from the field this afternoon.
And it's not only good for him, but it's good for his teammates to see him work himself out of that little slump from Game 2 as Hickey gets Lee up. Melbourne United come up with it.
Well, the changes happened again. Lee is now on Davo Hickey. The switch has come. They're changing it up. That time they were able to get the stop.
Well, it worked for Illawarra in Game 1. One of the learnings for Melbourne. Second time around, Golding found space. Banks at home. 1 point separates them again.
Nice work on the block from Golding. Was able to shed Harvey, and then the skill to knock down a little bank shot.
Standing around.
Harvey puts the ball on the floor. He's always the answer.
Well, very interesting shape, Brad, to that defense. They've got Lee camped in the paint, but then they're face guarding Harvey.
No Shea Ely today for Melbourne. You wouldn't say that Tyler Harvey and Trey Cal have cashed in on that. Perhaps as much as they could have. Clark left that one short, got it back again. 14 for the game now for Ian Clark. Four and a half minutes remaining at the Wynn Entertainment Centre. Hawks are having trouble scoring. And that continues. Melbourne look to take the lead. Golding drew a couple of closeouts. Foul will be on Will Hickey. Have Illawarra, Brad and Derek, have they done a poor job of managing this fourth quarter? Did it seem like it all they got a bit carried away at the start of the fourth?
Well, it was that phase, I think, where they had a number of good looks from the three. Some of them were rushed in the process, but not being able to knock any of them down, Brad. Looks like it's affected their confidence. They've kind of lost their way offensively, and also Melbourne United have changed up the way their defensive shape has been presented to the Hawks.
Yeah, I think it's disappointing if I'm the Illawarra Hawks, Jack. I think the fact that they came out and they launched those 4 threes, I think it was really wild ones. But now they've just got to settle. I'm just watching Tyler Harvey here. Looks like he's really sucking in the big ones there. It's physical out there. But for Melbourne United, that was an outstanding offensive set. Golding could have shot the 3, Clark could have shot the 3, but they got it inside.
73-72, 4 minutes 14 remaining in this Tangerine timeout. A reminder, Game 4 is Wednesday night at John Cain Arena. And if required, next Sunday, we come back to this venue at the Wynn Entertainment Centre to do it all again. Matt Russell courtside. At the start of this fourth quarter, Matty, you gave a little pearl of wisdom about Illawarra in quarter number 4. And, well, much like the Oracle, it's starting to ring true again. Matt Russell flagged that Illawarra have had fourth quarter problems. And it's coming true.
Yeah, I mean, they've just been able to not find any type of pattern or cohesion with their lineups on the floor. And Melbourne United look like they're playing with more quickness and energy also, Brad.
Well, they are, and a lot of times when these timeouts have happened, the team that has been down or losing that momentum come out a lot stronger because both coaches know how to push their team's buttons. So let's see what Illawarra have.
Last time Justin Tatum called a timeout, they went on a 14-0 run to finish off the quarter.
No clock running, okay? So you have to go back down.
Just having a quick look at the 5 that are on the floor.
I think Melbourne actually got a little mini break because Marcus Lee was fouled, it appeared, going up for a shot, but they called it on the pass. So instead of Lee going to the line to shoot 2, it will be a sideline out of bounds, and Dellavedova will trigger it.
Assistant, thank you.
4 minutes and 14 seconds remain. Game 3, swinging in the breeze right now. Dellavedova trying to put Melbourne in front. He does.
Gets that ball in his left hand. When he does that, he likes to either get into a spin move or that little step back fadeaway.
Jack White comes and stands next to us for one last run at this. Where is the next bucket going to come from Illawarra? They've gone cold offensively when it matters most. Blanchfield blocked. Huge play from Kyle Bowen. What is happening here?
Excellent defense away from the ball. Nice job of hedging, and then Bowen does a great job with his extension, getting a piece of Blanchfield's 3. Shot clock violation off the back of that. And the Hawks are so stagnant.
What a great block. His right hand to the right shoulder, so there's no way it can be a foul. That's a fantastic closeout. Yeah, he knows it. He's pointing to Derek Rucker. I know what I'm doing.
Either that or he thinks he's Dikembe Mutombo. 14-4 for the quarter. What a swing. And this was an Illawarra team who had scored 14 in a row on the way to three-quarter time.
Well, I didn't like the Illawarra team that was on there. I wasn't sure where they were going to get their scores from. They've made some subs now. I feel they need to roll back into Sam Froling here and get back to some basketball and move the ball.
Mark has to boot it back out for Dellavedova. And take a look at plan B. Shot clock rolls all the way down. It'll have to be Delly now. He persisted all the way and scores.
And his will throughout this game, even when things have gone poorly for Melbourne United, has just kept them believing in themselves and with some level of hope.
You couldn't hear yourself think in the third quarter here. Now you can almost hear a pin drop.
Yet another good defensive set by Melbourne. A tough 3 over the hand that doesn't drop. And then they get the rebound and the ball in this man's hand. What a quarter he's having so far, bringing his team home.
11 points, 11 assists for the afternoon. Matthew Dellavedova looked spent at the end of game 2 on Wednesday.
Puts his foot out.
And they had Jack White in a really good position. He was about to attack the closeout on a spaced out floor. Just unfortunately puts his foot on the sideline.
28-2. Darius Days, Tyler Harvey, Trey Kell III, Wani Swakala-Bullock and Sam Froling. On the floor right now for Illawarra, Matthew Dellavedova, Jack White, Ian Clark, Marcus Lee. And Chris Golding for the visiting Melbourne United, who lead by 3. Well, trying to get one back on Dellavedova. He slips over and grabs at the knee straight away.
Numbers.
So 5 on 4 up ahead. Swakala-Bullock was forced to foul. I can't review it. But the concern right now is for Illawarra star Trey Kell.
I've got him
who slipped on some perspiration and grabbed at his knee immediately.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see the replay.
No more information.
Is it on a foot here?
So I've got his smart play, he knows the play's coming.
And then just bangs his knee hard.
Shoot, I got 3 shots.
Number 9. Fucking foul, 3 shots.
Wow, and on top of that, they've ruled that when Melbourne United advance the basketball, they'll get 3 shots because on the foul, Dellavedova was in the act of shooting. Very intelligent basketball from Dellavedova.
You can see a very sore Trey Kell right now.
3 shots.
It's whether he can play through the pain and stay out there. With 2 minutes and 7 seconds left, Dellavedova makes the first.
And Trey Kell hobbles to the Illawarra bench.
It's going to be a bench warning, all right, because you can't yell out. For you, because you're yelling at me. We have a
He's
bench warning on
absolutely
Illawarra.
incensed Justin Tatum. A bench warning now. Not totally sure where his frustration lies.
Well, on the Kell penetration, there most certainly was not a foul.
Yeah, I didn't see the foul there. That was just really good defense. He slipped over as he hits the second free throw, but again, Dellavedova, what a quarter he is having right here.
One more.
All business.
Absolutely.
6 points to the good of Melbourne United. And we are down to 2 minutes left in game 3. Time for the Hawks to get going. Froling with 6 on the shot clock. Attracts the double team. Hickey is found underneath.
Well, they've just got to keep going back to Sam Froling. Great things happen. I know I sound like a broken record, but it's just so good when he touches the ball down low.
Now the Hawks looking for a stop at this end. Golding can't land a big blow. Loose ball. That caught Jack White's foot. And Illawarra will get a look at it.
And a slight collision there between Froling and White. White took one to the jaw, trying to shake it off. Hawks ball, 90 seconds to go.
Fourth quarters have been a problem for the Hawks in the postseason. They'll need to buck the trend here. Series advantage up for grabs. It's a foul on Dellavedova. Melbourne's first of the quarter. Got some wriggle room.
Well, as soon as you feel in the slightest sense that you may be beaten, if you look at the Amy replay, Delly realizes that he's going to have him right there. So he fouls him, reaches in, smart play. Don't show anything open if you're Melbourne United.
Fresh 14 for the Hawks. Off the inbound, there's Hickey alone again. Almost threw it out of play. Good save by Darius Days. Something special needs to happen here for the Hawks. That won't be the one.
Again, the rush three-point shooting in this fourth quarter has been the bane of
the Hawks' existence on the offensive end. Melbourne's game management in the fourth quarter today has been precise. Going. Misses again. Offensive rebound. Time now starting to become their friend. Dellavedova's content to wind this clock all the way down. Harvey overplays. Dellavedova scores. Huge from Melbourne United. Enormous from Matthew Dellavedova.
Dellavedova showing all the class and savvy of the champion that he is. Takes advantage of Harvey reaching and gambling. Finishes in the paint with exquisite touch as we go to the Tangerine timeout.
It's been the whole fourth quarter for this man. Jack, you just called it beautifully. He's managed it outstanding. He's passed. He's used the bully ball. He's laid it up. He's done everything to will his team to victory. And what a player. What a championship man he is.
And again, we see Delly struggle early in the game. He was 0 of 5, but he stays with it, continues to play the right way, distributes the basketball. He understands the game plan. Now he's 6 of 13 from the field with 16 points, 11 dimes.
And 0 turnovers. Outstanding game.
He's achieved so much in his career, Matthew Dellavedova. He had his jersey retired after his college years at St Mary's. He's a 4-time Olympian. He's an NBA champion. An NBL ring is the one thing he doesn't have, and he's playing like it's the one thing that he wants right now.
Well, you got to admire the way he approaches every game as a true professional. Never sliding where he is because of where he's been. Right now, he's led this team to a tremendous fourth quarter comeback. And again, they are a step closer to the promised land.
Illawarra have 5 3-point shooters on. There's no doubt this is going to be coming out, going to Harvey, I would think.
You never say never here in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Blanchfield misses. Hickey must knock this down. He doesn't get it to count either. Dellavedova happy to concede another foul. 2 decent looks. Both go astray.
They've generated some good shots for themselves. But again, Hickey's inability to knock down the 3 in this context is a liability for the Hawks.
Just want to deny Tyler Harvey. He broke their hearts in game 2. That is an absolute prayer. Blanchfield with a rebound and a score. Harvey almost came up with a steal, but Clark can take it to the other end. Eventually fouled with 4.9 seconds left.
Very smart by Ian Clark. Could have passed it, but he is an outstanding free throw shooter. Ran more seconds off the clock as well.
Yeah. I'll change it, Vaughn. I'll change it.
Again, Jack, we see a team seemingly undermanned with no opportunity to win this game coming into it. Dig deep, craft a game plan, execute it, and pull off an improbable victory.
And again, we see the away team take the points in this series.
So we'll see you next Sunday.
Down 10 points early in the fourth quarter.
What?
But Delhi has been great. Takes nothing away from Jack White as well. 20 points to go with his 4 rebounds. Great game.
Experience is everything this time of year. Melbourne United draw on all of that and head back to John Cain Arena on Wednesday to win the NBL Championship. A monumental Game 3 win at the Wynn Entertainment Centre, 83-77. Advantage United.
And a dominant defensive performance by Melbourne United in the fourth quarter, holding the high-powered Illawarra Hawks to only 10 points. That is how you win championships. That is how you put yourself in a situation to go home and handle your business.
Well, I am just so impressed with Matthew Dellavedova. I know I shouldn't say it that way because the guy has an NBA championship, but he just carried his team on the back in that fourth quarter. And that man as well, Jack White, coming out 0 shots. I repeat, 0 shots in game 2, comes out and has 20 apiece.
We were talking about momentum. The suggestion was that Melbourne might have blown their chance by losing on their home floor on Wednesday. They're 2-1 up in the series now. What happens next?
Well, I know they got down in that game, but coming out strong, Jack, I felt put them back into the series. I said it at the time, the 8-0 start was vital, and now Melbourne United have that momentum, and now they have a chance to close it out back at JCA.
Joe Healy has got the man of the moment from the fourth quarter.
I do. He's the Foot Locker player of the game, Matthew Dellavedova. Della, you held them to 10 in that fourth quarter without arguably your best defender as well. What was the mentality to close this out?
We knew it was going to be tough. We had to control the tempo and just dig in. Like, we weren't happy with how many O-boards and loose balls we gave up last game, and I think everyone came out with the right intent. Obviously, Shilly's a huge part of what we do and that toughness, and everybody brought a little extra tonight.
You had 16 and 11, the first player in championship history with 11 assists and no turnovers, but you also got the likes of this man here, Jack White, involved after a game 2. Just talk about the resilience of this team, and you two included.
I mean, he just came out aggressive, and that's the way we want him to play. We don't care if he misses shots. His aggression is what he really brings for us, and he brought it from the very start, and we're going to need it again next game.
Congrats on the win. We'll see you at game 4.
Thank you.
Matty, over to you. You've got Jack White.
I'm here with a triumphant Jack White indeed, Joe. First, Jack, I want to comment on the man we just heard from, Matthew Dellavedova. 11 assists on 0 turnovers. The first man in NBL Grand Final history to do that. What about his service tonight?
Mate, not surprised. Man, if you're a fan of Aussie hoops and you're a fan of Dally, man, like, this is someone I've looked up to my whole life with basketball, and to be able to share the court with him is unbelievable. And obviously what he's still able to produce at this stage of his career, like, he's only getting better and better, and like a big part of why we're able to come out with a win tonight, like, unbelievable.
Jack, your performance also unbelievable. 0 points in game 2. You have 20 tonight on 8 of 9. How were you able to turn it around?
I mean, a lot of people in my corner, a lot of people encouraging me to be aggressive. You know, just encouraging me to get out of my own head, especially with the free throws and stuff. But, you know, just like, I've done the work, I've done the preparation, teammates believe in me, so I just need to go out there and let it rip. And, you know, fortunately, you know, found some good spots tonight early in the game, and that sort of honestly gets you going. But, you know, a big credit to my teammates, man. Yeah, unbelievable group.
Despite this atmosphere, you've come to Wollongong, you've won on this floor 3 times this season, and as a result, you're playing for the championship on Wednesday night. Jack White, congratulations. Well played.
Thank you.
What a test of character from Jack White. 20 points, 5 rebounds with the series on the line. It's now Melbourne, who are 1 game away from being crowned NBL 25 champions. Felix, Copes and Halls with thanks to basketball.com.au are back on the other side to wrap this up. United win it by 6.